Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? So, with our relaxing chillax episode, we actually get some interesting details. Well, more like a tease in a sense, like a lot of teasing, I should say, but we get a little bit of a tease when it comes down to what could be possible in the future for our characters, seeing how um, maybe the whole like them falling for each other isn't so far-fetched anymore. I mean, to the point now where we got our Fox girl straight up, not wanting to have her tail fluffed, but at the same time, why would he need anybody else's tail? You know what I mean? So, absolutely hilarious little banter that goes between them all the time. I think that's one of the saving graces of just the show as a whole. But not only that, we get to see just, um, how far their relationship goes from being uh, just from, thinking that she's helping him to feel better on certain occasions to all of a sudden becoming one of the, closest things she has to being happy. Like, I don't think there's anything else that, goes without saying that makes her as happy as just kicking it with him and doing whatever. Rain, snow, uh, heat, all that stuff. They always seem to find a way to start smiling. So I thought that was a really smart way of playing this out as a whole. I mean, not only are they like growing on each other, but she still is a fox like at heart, which is a very interesting aspect of like the overall narrative of where the story's kind of going. I mean, they don't have to necessarily make these two fall in love with each other or whatever, but it seems as if that's going to be the case. Even if it is, I want to know what you guys feel about that. Like, do you see him like because he falls in love, or like because it's a weird pairing, for instance? Like, what would happen to you if you straight up married a demigod fox? Like, would you turn into a fox if you start foxing? Like, it just seems really weird to me as a whole, uh, for what the show is. So I understand she's remembers him as well as the guy who was back in her past, I'm pretty sure. So that's also a weird way of saying, like, oh, well, if I had the chance to be with the guy in the past, I would. So much so that they probably already were, and this is kind of nothing different. It's almost as if she gets to just fall in love again with the same person she's always been in love with, and every time she falls in love with him, the guy is always kind of the same, just like open and doesn't even know probably about the past life. So the cool thing too was, they're like, oh, she's hundreds and hundreds of years old. When the other cat shows up, that's her boss. They're like, oh yeah, she's thousands of years old. Like, my God. So pretty much being 100 years old is still being a baby, practically, from what I can understand, which is pretty wild in their aging ways. So I thought that was pretty funny to see just what she believes competition is and how easily he probably would have went to the dark side, given how much he was enjoying the teasing and stuff like that. So I don't know, very just very fun and like over the top episode with that girl showing up, always trying to push in on her, or as she said, toy with her. As literally as she shows up, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just here to, toy with her. See you. That's what I'm here for." Oh crap! I need to get to this guy quick and kill him. So, but yeah, other than that, very very straightforward episode. I don't know. There's not a lot of things that really catch me off guard with this show. I mean, I didn't expect this woman to show up and try to be so, you know, mischievous to our main girl. You know, she just actually likes doing that type of stuff to her, teasing her and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. It was pretty funny to see, but at the same time, we could tell that it got under her skin, and to the point where she's trying to cover it up by saying, you know, she's looking out for you as a mother. Not only that she's looking out for her as a mother, but she's also trying to, you know, make sure you understand that you don't need other people's tells and stuff like that. So it was a really weird way of her doing that, but then you knew that it was real or that she was actually upset when we see the food that she cooks with the rice and a sardine on top. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you always hated those." So it comes back down to that whole she knows his ancestor side, or him as a younger kid was always the same, even growing up on the stuff that he loved and hated when it comes to food. So it's a very interesting overall narrative, and I don't think it's going to get like too crazy, but at the same time, I really don't know where they're going to take this as of now. I'm pretty much down for the ride. We're close to the end, so either they're gonna announce like maybe another season later, and they're just gonna be chilling like always through these different seasons and stuff, or they'll probably give it a book ending, and these guys live happily ever after until he passes on, kind of like the grandpa or ancestors before him, or you know, yeah, before him. So we'll see how this all plays out. I definitely will record the rest of this show and see how it all pans out. But other than that, let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Do you enjoy it? Do you like the way that this story could possibly play out, or is it something more of the less that you want it to be longer and see it last for just a wee bit longer than it's actually going to be? I think it's 13 episode and not just 12, so that's at least decent. Or it might be 12 episode. I'm not sure. I forgot to keep a note of that when I was about to start out my video. But thank you guys so much for the support. I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I definitely will talk to you in the next one. So with all that being said, have a good one and peace.